What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Yuka, and I'm out here again on the Royce Ghost air suspension compressor or pump, if you're gonna call it. So the question that I had in my head was, can I use a BMW 740, 760 pump, a compressor pump with the air dryer for my Royce Ghost 2010 all the way up to a 2014? And so I had to order the BMW one. I came in and I started comparing some of the things, and some of the things are different. So I'm going to go over those real quick with you and show you how I am actually getting ready to take apart the motor to swap some of the motor components with the new, the Rolls-Royce motor components with the new BMW 740, 750, 760 Li compressor motor. So my new compressor motor came in the box, came in today, okay? And as you can see, I'm actually already doing some things. So the biggest thing was that the BMW 740 compressor, right, is a little different because it does not have a couple things. My Rolls-Royce compressor, this is the Rolls-Royce dry, it's all mixed up now. I've already started taking this apart. But this is the head of the Rolls-Royce compressor. And this little knob right here is what locks in the temperature sensor, which if you look on your Rolls-Royce Ghost head, you'll see that you have this little thing, you have this temperature gauge sensor that goes in here, and this little screw here locks it in. Well, on the BMW 740, 760 Li, whatever, they don't have this temperature sensor. Now the head of it does have this cavity here that will slide in here perfectly, but the hole isn't drilled out for this screw to lock it in. So that's something I'm gonna have to modify and put a hole into this so that way I can actually lock this temperature sensor into the BMW one that I'm going to use. So the reason why I could not use the BMW motor on the Rolls-Royce head, dryer head, is because the BMW 740 piston is smaller than the Rolls-Royce piston, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So So this is the motor for the Rolls-Royce compressor pump, and as you can see, this is the piston here. This piston here is different from the one that I got out of the BMW. I mean, in actuality, this piston is a little bit bigger, and the housing for the piston, so this is the Rolls-Royce dryer housing metal component, and it goes right on top of the Rolls-Royce motor, like so, right? And it fits in there perfectly, right? And that's because even the housing, the metal housing, the bore is a little bit bigger. You can almost kind of see on the edge there where it goes in at a slant and then it kind of drops in there. Well, on the BMW version of this same exact thing, so this motor is bad because when I open it up, just so you know, what makes a motor go bad? Well, this motor will run for a little bit and then it will stop. And what I noticed is, you might not be able to see it because I can't really get that angle in there, but there's a lot of black burn cables right there. I can kind of see them a little bit. There's a lot of black burnt cables right there. And when cables are being burnt, either they're shorting out or they're losing power, and the motor just doesn't have it. The motor doesn't have the power that it needs to operate efficiently. So if I was able to actually change just the motor in this housing, I could have. There's a way to do that. You can, these here has rivets. You can drill out these rivets, take this cover out, take the piston off, take the motor out and put it into, and then put a new motor, put a new winding, put the new wire winding, whatever the mechanism in here, and plug it all back together. If you drill these out, whatever, you're gonna have to replace these with like a screw and a bolt to lock this in, because this is riveted in unless you have a rivet gun, and you can kind of re-rivet it and make sure that the seal is in there and everything. I didn't want to do that. I'm not able to actually take out this bore without taking, I'm not able to take out this piston without taking this right here cover. I'm not able to take out this piston here. I'm not able to take that piston off without taking off this cover here. So my only other option, not only other option, but another option was to just switch out everything as much as possible. So this is my Royce. This is my Royce dryer head that has the little screw in it, that I'm gonna have to take that out. And I'm also gonna take out the sensor and put it into the BMW 750 dryer head and dryer and motor. So the other thing is the back of the Rolls Royce, the connector for the Rolls Royce. This is what it looks like. It's different from the connector of the BMW, which means that it's different from the connector of the BMW. It's different. This is the different connector. This one has like a little bracket that holds something in, and as you see, the one on the Royce bracket is actually down on the wire part. It's not on the head. Okay, so that's a difference there. So what I decided to do, instead of actually cutting the wires, soldering them, slapping them back on there, I'm actually just going to take off the back. I took off the back, the top of the motor, okay? And there's two bolts here, one bolt here, there's one bolt here, one bolt here. You unscrew those. I think it's a T10, I'm sorry, it's a 10 millimeter. You unscrew that from the back of here, T10, T10, if you can see that, holds in the way. You got a T10 here, T10 here. You're gonna unscrew that, and those two long screws are gonna come out. And then this right here, you'll be able to pry it up, wiggle it up. It's just in there. It has just basically like a seal that's there, and that keeps it, you know, locked and taut. Now, when you open this, you're gonna notice that there's some spring-loaded connectors here, right? So these spring-loaded connectors, when I take it off, they come in and they start touching. These connectors go around. These connectors go around this round piece here. This right here is how it gets its power. And when those are pulled back, when you put this back on, you want those connectors to be all the way in, so that way it can slide in there. If you have those connectors out, then you're not going to be able to get in there, and it's going to be hard to get this right here back onto the housing. So what I did is I took some pipe cleaner, a little, you know, thing that you get from Hobby Lobby, little pipe cleaners, some pipe cleaners, and I wrapped it around the top, this brass wire. I put it around that wire, and I pulled it, and when you pull it back, it pulls pull these pins back in. And I did it on both sides. I used the little hole right here to kind of pull it through. So what's going to happen is when I sit it on there, and I know that when I sit it back on, and I know that the round piece is there, I'm going to clip this side, pull that out, clip this side, pull it out, and it's going to spring load back around there, and then I can go ahead and slide that on. So what you got to make sure. So I've already taken my Rolls Royce dryer, which is good. All this stuff is good, because also this dryer has different connectors, have different positioning of everything. The intake hose, the exhaust hose, the pump is in a different spot, the connector is in a different spot compared to what the BMW was looking like, which is, you know, stuff is just not the same. It's not the same at all. In order to do that, I had to take off this screw, and also take off a screw down here at the bottom. Now remember, when you can also take this dryer off. So you want to take the dryer off of the entire dryer off of the motor, off of the pump, and then you want to sit it down on the ground with the dryer without the motor and the dryer on there, because this is spring loaded. So make sure when you're undoing this screw and this screw on the dryer that you have it down, so that way once you undo it, you can control the spring load. It's not a lot of spring, but you don't want it to pop up. You don't want to be doing it like this right here, and this right here shoots up. You want it to be down, and you want to control it as you're taking it off. heard, oh, and also, yeah, there's a little ring right there, and that ring actually sits on, and that's cool. So what I'm gonna do, so right now you can see those spring loaded, what I was telling you about, this one here and this one here, and that there is trying to push around that. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my little green pipe cleaners and pour those back so I don't lose that. All I'm gonna do right now is just put that through there. Do that around that one. Around that one. Now, when I know that it's going to go something like this. This is the only way it can go. That's going to be it right there. So do that. And then now we're going to go ahead and bracket at the back. We got 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Bracket at the back. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and cut these right here with my scissors and pull it out, because it should be around. It should be around the might have to do a little bit of slack, because it is got it in though. Let's see. That is always the key. All right, finally got it back in there. Again, had to when you're using these, you might have to find a way that you can actually get them in there and leave a little bit of gap. I had to leave like a little bit of gap before it actually sat on there to cut it. I had to once it was in there hanging out, I had to cut it and then pull one end out, and that allowed the spring load to go back around that. But again, it had to be, you had to have like a less than an inch gap in order to do that. So, but once you get that in there, play around with that. That took a little while, honestly, a lot. Then go ahead and get these back in, cinch it down, and I should have the power. And I'm gonna test it out on the bench. You want to make sure you go through this. So you want to go through the bottom of that and then come out of that little hole. You want to wrap around the copper wire and put it back through. That way everything is on top, because when you put, that way everything is on top. So that way when you pull this, you know, you get that cinch back. But when it's in the canister, all you want to do when it's in the canister, you want to cut like right here and then pull the other end. And being that it doesn't have to go around this here, it just has to slide around the copper, will be a lot easier for you. So if you use a copper wire without this fuzz on it, might work out a little bit better. Anyway, all right, so I got that gapped up, and I'm gonna turn the switch on and see what happens. Let's see what happens. So all right, so there you go. I switched it out. All I gotta do now is put my temperature sensor in there. We're gonna be good. Okay, you guys, so this is the Rolls-Royce dryer mixed when I took the BMW motor pump off of the BMW version of the 7 Series that I ordered. I ordered a brand new BMW 7 Series motor, and I swapped it out with the Rolls-Royce motor. There were some modifications that I had to make in order to make this happen. I talked about that in another video. or in this video. I don't know if I'm connecting them together. I have all my hoses locked in. Everything looks good. I just gotta now reattach my power cable to back to where it goes on the back wall back there with my zip ties. Put all my wires back and then put the cover back up. So once I got my pump installed, and just so you know, if you're doing a test on the actual motor by testing both the left side and the right side, and the mosquito here trying to get me, but if you're doing a test, just know that if you do, you can also test for continuity to make sure if it shorts, that doesn't mean it's bad. That just means that it is where it's supposed to be, because a motor is going to short. Now what I did was I went ahead and put my motor on, turned the car on, and I still was not getting the pump to turn on. I do have a new relay that I put in that actually came with the new motor, so I installed a new relay. I checked all my fuses over here to make sure that all my fuses were good to go. The 40s were my big concern, and all my 40s were good. I also checked the fuses that go in the glove compartment box. There's 2 fuse bays here, one in the trunk and one in the glove box. And the one in the glove box has some fuses that are really, really high. Here is the diagram for the fuses up front in the, it's that one right there. That one right there. That's the one in the glove box, and it's turned the wrong way. And I checked 5, I checked all of these, and the way I did it is I actually had to take my dashboard, take the glove box down, take the dashboard off to be able to get to these fuses here up top. The ones right down here were kind of easy to get to, but you cannot get to these fuses to check or change without taking off the front dashboard panel. And yeah, so just know that you will have to do that if you're looking to do that. With that being said, once I did get my oh, look at these mosquitoes. I'm gonna kill me some mosquitoes. These things, they tripping. I don't want them to bite me either. They like biting me. Anyways, once I got that done, I checked my relay. My relay was good, and I just was still not getting any power. So you have two wires here. This one is your power wire that goes to your battery, and this is the power wire that goes to the pump down below. This is the red that goes to the pump motor down below, and I marked it with a little black mark so I knew which one was the pump, because I was not getting any power. I was not getting any power to the pump, and when I put my own meter on here, I was only getting mosquito. I was only getting like a voltage of like 8.5. I'm like, why am I getting a voltage of 8.5 with my multimeter? So I said, that can't be right. I need 12 volts. So, and actually I was on the wrong side anyway. This here was giving me no. This cable here goes to my battery, right? And I come to find out that where it was actually right here. This one here is the one that goes to your pump, okay? But it was not here. It was actually right here into that one. And the fact of the matter is, a mosquito. Look at a mosquito right there. Man, I'm gonna stupid mosquito. Golly, can't stand these jokers. They be hurting too. Anyways, it was on this one. So these two here, what ended up happening is that the mosquito is tripping. I'm about to spray myself. These two here, this right here was actually right here, and these two here went bad because my motor blew these fuses. These are like little diodes or something. These are fuses here that you don't know about. This is bad and this one is bad. So I had another open one here, and I've connected it to this one, and when I did that, I was able to get power back to my motor. So just know that if you check all your fuses for your pump, everything looks good. You got a new pump or compressor, whatever. You got a new compressor and it's still not coming on. Your relay is good. You can hear it clicking. You can hear everything clicking down below, even the valve, even your release valve. You can hear those clicking. You might have a problem with power. So check your cable here to see, ground it out with your, go to your own, go to your meter here. Go to your meter here, and go to voltage. And when you do that, you can put one on the ground. So I normally ground mine like right here. I'll ground mine right here. And if that's touching, then I'll go here and I'll check to see how much power I have. And let's see, put it on voltage to see how much power I got. And if you look at it now, I'm showing 12.5. Before, I was only showing, and if I test this right here out right here, I'm gonna test it out right here. You can see I'm touching that right now, and it should be showing 12, but it's not. Should be, this one is here also, should be showing 12, but it's not. This one here, I'm touching this one right here, the one that it's at, and it's touching 12. So just know that you have a set of fuses here, and one of these here actually goes to your relay pump for your compressor. If you didn't know that, now you know. That's where you want to find your fuse and the power supply for your pump.